This ranch has been our refuge.
When COVID-19 hit, Rick Boguski brought his brother Daryl here to care for him.
Hey, mister.
Daryl is blind and has cerebral palsy. He can't speak.
I really thought that we were going to be happy here.
But then in April, the RCMP phoned.
Well, first of all, they wanted to confirm that Daryl had been in Shepherd's Villa in Hepburn, Saskatchewan.
The RCMP told Rick his brother was one of 5 sexual assault victims.
And it was like a cannon went off in my head.
The abuse allegedly happened between 1992 and 2006 at the Shepherd's Villa group home for disabled individuals. This is Brent Gabona, a former worker who left the villa in 2009. He's facing 8 sex abuse-related charges. None of them have been proven in court.
Well, imagine being blind, autistic, having cerebral palsy, and at the same time being the victim of sexual assault.
Boguski says the RCMP's 3.5-week investigation only scratched the surface of what may have really happened.
Really, I can think of 8 potential victims right now off the top of my head. 8 potential victims, and yet you have a police investigation that's identifying 5. I will not rest until all the evidence is in and all the victims are accounted for.
Hello.
Yes, is this Jorge?
Speaking.
Yes, this is Mr. Gabona returning your call.
After repeated attempts to reach him, Brent Gabona called us back. We asked him if there were more victims. Is it more than 5?
Sorry, I can't respond to that at this point. I've just caused enough already and I don't want to cause any more.
Yeah, okay. Here's something that's rather interesting too.
Derek Hawkins lived in the room next to Daryl Boguski. Staff logs show their son grew increasingly violent while under Gabona's care. And now they wonder if their son was also a possible victim, perhaps an explanation for his sudden turn in behavior.
From July of 2004, he had 1 incident, and after that, it was August of 2004, he had 9 incidents. November, he had 12 incidents. He had ripped all the gyprock off his walls with his bare hands. And they told it, when they called, they told us that if we didn't come and get him immediately, they would be phoning RCMP to take him to the psych ward.
Derek was discharged from the villa because of his violence. He died in 2011 from kidney failure. But when the Hawkins learned Gabona was facing sexual assault charges, they asked the RCMP to include their son in the investigation.
We were point blank told that he was not a victim, simply because he was verbal.
The words were, he is not a victim. The accused
only assaulted nonverbal. That was on his confession.
Only on his word.
Why anybody
just
would
because he
believe
said
that
so.
is beyond me.
Gabona told us soul searching led him to the RCMP. I understand that your family's a Christian family, you go to church, and I was just wondering if that played a role in your decision to come forward.
Definitely had something to do with it.
It was just a personal conviction that you felt you had to contact the police yourself? Gabona's next court appearance is scheduled for July. Okay.
Brent was convicted, if you will, to own his mistakes.
Gabona's pastor at a Waldheim, Saskatchewan church says Gabona told him God, through the Bible, triggered his conscience.
Brent had told me after the fact that, and this was in the hands of the RCMP at that point.
Jacqueline Forbes' brother, Dean, was also in Gabona's care for about 3 years. He still lives in the group home today.
These people are vulnerable, who we have a duty to protect and provide safety and care and love. They deserve the justice out of this.
Forbes says police should review all incident records from the group home and call on a clinical psychologist to help interview anyone who was in Gabona's care.
They at least deserve to be listened to, even if they can't speak.
The RCMP sent a statement to CBC News saying there was no investigational need for a psychologist, and officers obtained all available evidence from the time period. The current executive director of Shepherd's Villa declined comment.
Okay, I gotcha. Go for a little drive and we'll head down to the creek, okay?
On the ranch, Rick Boguski is still coming to terms with what happened to his brother. He says it forever changed Daryl.
Now I've learned that I've got to warn Daryl that I'm coming toward him to give him that hug.
Hey, mister, we're gonna go and we're gonna sit by the creek.
But still he believes in nature's power to heal.
We walk down to the creek. Sometimes we've got country music playing in the background in the car. Sometimes it's just nature. We just chill out. I hold his hand. Daryl is an angel on earth.
An angel who police say went through hell. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Lundbreck, Alberta.